Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Have you ever thought about asking a computer for help with a moral dilemma, like whether to tell a difficult truth or how to handle a complicated relationship? It is easy to assume that religious people would be the first to say no to that. But a surprising new study suggests that might be exactly the wrong way to think about it. The big question here is whether being religious acts as a shield against technology invading our moral life, or if it actually makes those people more open to it. Conventional wisdom says that religious folks should be wary of chatbots acting like digital gurus. After all, big religious institutions have been pretty vocal about keeping machines out of spiritual and moral guidance. But the researchers Helen, Zheng, and her team wanted to see if that is how real people actually feel. They did 2 big studies with nearly 700 people from all over the United States. They didn't just ask them if they were religious. They also looked at how often they prayed or attended services to get a real sense of their religious life. What they found was really eye-opening. It turns out that the more religious someone is, the more likely they are to actually use a chatbot for moral advice. This really flips the script on what we thought we knew. The researchers think this happens because of something they call a disposition for moral consultation. Basically, religious people are already into the habit of asking for advice. They regularly look to scripture, community leaders, and traditions to help them decide what is right. It turns out they just treat AI as another source on that list. Think of it like being a regular reader. If you already love to read for information or comfort, you are probably going to be the first person to try an ebook reader once it comes out. You are not replacing your old library, you are just adding a new tool to your collection. The study also looked at whether these people think the AI is an authority figure. It turns out that because religious people are used to looking for wisdom from sources they deem authoritative, they seem to slot AI into that same mental category. Now, some of you might be wondering about the limitations of a study like this. First of all, this was a cross-sectional study, which sounds fancy, but it just means they took a snapshot in time. They cannot prove that being religious causes you to use AI, only that the two things tend to go together. Also, this was done in the United States, so we don't know if the same thing happens in other cultures. And remember, just because someone asks an AI for advice doesn't mean they are following it blindly. The researchers were careful to note that we don't fully understand the long-term consequences of this yet. From my perspective, this is a fascinating look at how humans adapt to new tech. We always think that new tools will destroy old traditions, but often the traditions just absorb the tools. If you are someone who values moral guidance, you are going to look for it wherever you think it might be hiding, whether that is in a dusty book or a sophisticated LLM chatbot. It shows that human beings are fundamentally advice-seeking creatures. The real risk, and the thing future scientists should keep an eye on, is whether these AI systems start to influence our moral compasses without us even realizing it. Perhaps through the subtle way they phrase their, quote, advice. It is a brave new world out there. If you found this as interesting as I did, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think you would ever turn to a chatbot for a big life choice? Or do you prefer to keep your moral decisions strictly for human ears? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you never miss a deep dive into the human experience. Thanks for hanging out at the Mind Lab today, and I will see you in the next one.